The fourth number that we think that you ought to know that is super important, that can have a huge impact on understanding and commanding your financial life, is your net worth. This is a big one. This is one that is exciting to us because your net worth is simply all the things that you own minus all the things that you owe, and it's a big one.
Well, I mean, if you were a business, you're going to have what's called a balance sheet where you go look at the things you own versus the things you owe. And then the difference is your equity or what you have. Well, it's the exact same thing for you personally. You just like a business has that balance sheet, you're going to have a net worth statement. You're going to take what you own minus what you owe. And what the difference between that's actually your net worth, what you have working for you, your army of dollar bills. We need to focus on this. So few people are actually putting in any effort of knowing what do they have working for them, what do they owe people, what do they own. You got to put some time into this.
And the reason this is a significant number, something that you should know, is how on earth can you know if your destination is where you're going, if you want to get to financial independence, if you have goals, if you want to retire, if you want to fill in the blank, how on earth can you know where you are in your journey if you don't know where you are today? If you don't understand where your starting point is, well, that's exactly what a net worth statement does. Well, a lot of people ask us, guys, I don't know where to start. I've never done this. What do I do? We actually have a great tool available for you. You can go to learn.moneyguy.com. This is the same net worth tool that both Brian and I use every single year to track our net worth. And we literally do it every single year because what we want to see is, are the decisions that we're making moving us closer to our financial goals? Well, if you're tracking your net worth statement, you can see things like my overall account structure, my tax location, how powerful are my army of dollar bills? Is my liquid asset portfolio growing, or am I only growing my wealth because the value of my home is going up? Your net worth statement will give you insights into all of these different areas, but you won't actually know that unless you start tracking it.
Well, I don't like to leave any dollar behind. I want every dollar to feel purposeful. And if you're not doing a net worth statement, you can't really have command of what every dollar is doing for you. So this is why does this matter? Is you got to know where you're at financially.
You got to know where you're at, and it can also serve as a dashboard for achievements and do-betters. Oh man, it's so great. I finally crossed out. You know, a lot of people, they celebrate getting to zero net worth. That's a big deal in the world in which we live today. And then, I crossed $100,000 net worth. I crossed $1 million net worth. Or, I noticed that my debt went up a lot from last year to this year. I bought that car. Was that a good decision? It will highlight those areas, those decisions that you're making to help you understand, are the decisions I'm making actually good for me? Or are they moving me in an opposite direction that I actually want to be going?
I also tell you, this is why it matters, is that we talk about so much of personal finance is that 80% that's the behavior and the consistent good habits that you're doing. If you actually will get in the habit of doing a net worth statement, I'm telling you, this will have an influence on you that you can't even see. I think about it when I'm exercising, I start eating better.
Yeah, of course.
Because I felt like when you start going to the gym and you start exercising, you're like, well, I don't want to just go squander all that hard work, so I eat a little better just because those things are connected with each other. It's the same way. If you'll start doing the net worth statement, I think you'll be surprised that you'll think about your spending a little bit different. You'll think about how much you have going towards your investments. It will make you a better version of yourself just by waking up and making sure that behavioral side is not working against you. It's actually building assets and armies of dollar bills for your future.
It's also an amazing communication tool. Whether you're talking about you and your spouse, trying to figure out how do we get on the same page, how do we prioritize things, how do we know that decisions we're making are moving us towards the things that we actually care about, a net worth statement is a great way to do that. Or maybe you are an aging parent and you now have adult children and you're trying to figure out, okay, what does the transition of our estate, the transition of our assets look like? Doing a net worth statement will show you all the things and all the areas you need to address, and it can be a great means of communication for you to speak to the next generation, to show them what your wishes are. So you can actually use this not just to encourage and influence your behavior, but to also bring up a conversation that's kind of a difficult conversation to have otherwise.
Well, look, I don't mind sharing. This is going to seem like a nerdy exercise at the beginning if you're using this with your significant other, but I tell you, you do this long enough, it will become romantic. And the fact that you're now planning, you can make this an annual tradition, go on date nights, plan what you're going to be using these resources for. It can be a great communication and effective tool for making sure you're both on the same page. Anybody who goes into any type of counseling or anything, they're going to tell you got to have good communication. Use this effective tool to help you